Namaste. Good morning, friends. Hi, everybody. And my dear loving students, I am back again with your Corona series. कुछ करो ना, क्या करना है पूरा दिन बैठ के घर में. So, and again, since we are under lock, whatever is available inside my four walls, inside the kitchen house. So I am searching every day. It became my pleasure to keep hunting for materials and keep hunting for topics and then create another series for you so that forever we are all on cloud and benefiting universally because these are all science concepts. Science is universally same. So anyway, whether it is students, high school students or the teacher training institutions or the teachers who are teaching or general public, because these are all common things. There is nothing special and there is no rocket science in all these things series. So anybody, even general public, can be aware of the concepts that are there in nature. So now today my topic is you can see here methods of separation. So this is the topic of the day today. And the previous, my kitchen chemistry, I told you already about the matter. So the matter in the universe is basically divided into pure substances and impure substances. So under the pure substances, I have already covered you elements and compounds. So now after that, I have already given you some examples from the regular home about some mixtures. So now these are the elements. That is in the purest form, very few are available in nature, so that will be used as it is. This will be done from the either from the under the soil or in the nature. So now compounds are also sometimes will have some mixed which we have to be segregation. So now today focusing exclusively on mixtures and how to separate them. That is the today's concept. So the mixture means, as already I have given you the definition before, mixture is something that has no fixed ratio. They are not combined chemically, they are physically combined. So they are, sometimes some of them are irreversible, sometimes they are reversible. Sometimes they can very easy methods we can segregate, some takes more difficult methods are there. So based on all the various aspects, today we are going to focus. So what is generally happens is, you first try to we cannot go for every time mechanism. So some things which are very solid. So again the matter exists in three forms: solid, liquid and gaseous. So as I said, we are focusing only on mixtures, and mixtures again a combination. It can be solid to solid, it can be liquid to liquid, it can be gas plus gas, or it can be solid plus liquid plus gas, or it can be only liquid and solid, again it is the same, or a gaseous gas in the liquid. So these are all, anything of any state of matter can combine with the other state of matter. In such a case, whenever we need it to be separated, what are the various methods? That is the focus of today. So today I have taken, for first example of solid to solid, I have taken three things are mixed here. I can say that I have taken the piece which we can try to separate them by using the hand. And there is a chana dal, so yellow color wise also they are distinct, and the size wise also they can be removed like this. So this is like this, hand picked, and there is pepper, black color. So very easy to separate them and then segregate. At home, generally in the kitchen, if any such things happen, your mothers, ladies will try to do this method, that is hand picking. So you pick up the solid parts separately based on their size and the difference, and then you segregate them. In a company, in a industry, they will have different sizes of sieves with different sizes of holes. So that industrial method is different, where there is a separation using a sieve. So that is one method. So this is called hand picking, where solids are mixed, and then I am going to show you another mechanism, sieving. So for sieving example, I have taken the our godi wheat flour and then ragi, mustard seeds and then some dal. So today now I am going to mix all the three and make it a mixture. Isn't it? It looks so dirty now. And now your mother will scold you when you do like this. She'll say that, come on, I want to do roti now and I need my flour. So what do? You have to obey your mother and then give her so that you get your roti back. So very easy. You just use a sieve and then you separate so that once for all you get back your flour. See, Mama, it's ready. You can take back your flour and make one roti for me. So this is one method. Again, from this, either you can use a hand pick method mechanism or you can use the sieve of a other dimension where again mustard seeds will fall down and only this will remain. So that is why the various size plates will be available in the sieve generally. So I have kept very varied plates also here, a very fine one and for rave and all very little wider ones and thinner ones. So like this you can always, this is one method of, this method is called sieving. So we have separated very nicely. So this is one method after the picking of hand picking. If hand picking is not possible, if there is very, we use the methodology of sieving. Then after sieving, filtration is another method. The very easy examples are available in the house. We know everybody, either it is your Bournvita or of course Bournvita and Horlicks and all will mix well, you don't do the filtration. But coffee, tea, these two beverages are very good examples of what happens. There will be this called tea filter. So in this tea filter, I have already kept the tea powder just to show you. Of course, you can do it. So what is happening? By adding of course after boiling, I just kept it for a speed. I kept the boiled water and this is called, what is remaining in the filter is called residue. You should know the wordings also. And what has come out is called the of that holes. The moment you put the water in this one, coffee powder as a residue will remain up and the decoction will come to the bottom. See, you can see that. Only the decoction will come down, but the residue will remain inside. After some time, when everything comes, by the end of this experiment, I can show you that also. This is a filtration mechanism. So this is what is at home, I say. But otherwise, we have got these filters also. I mean, like this in your chemistry lab will be available. What is this called? Can you guess? Any guesses? And then actually there will be a filter paper also in our chemistry lab. But here, because we are doing it at home, I have taken our regular tissue paper and I am keeping it. So I can use the same example here, taking this little tea powder and keeping it in this. So you want to remove this from the water. So what you will do? You will use the filter. Like this. So again it will be, the residue will remain here and then what we want it, liquid form, will come down. So this is another example of filtration. One is the coffee, tea, and what otherwise professionally in the chemistry lab what we do is taking the filtration can and then put one filter paper and then do it. So this is one method. So far what all we have done? Hand picking, sieving with various filters and real filtration. So apart from this, the best example is evaporation. Evaporation, our sodium chloride in the house, the salt that we use, is the nature, that is the method of getting the sodium chloride, that is a crystal salt. So it is available in seashore, because in the sea is very rich in salt, so it is a hyper saturated water, that is why it will be very salty. So to extract salt solid from the sea water, the mechanism of evaporation is done. So near the sea beds, always they do the buds, and then small buds like, and then leave the sea water in the buds, so that when there is a hot sun, the water part of it will evaporate and the salt will be available. So for that example, experiment of evaporation, I have taken the table salt here. So let us assume that it is our sea, and then we are creating the sea here and became a saturated salt water. So actually, for the convenience and for time saving mechanism, I have kept this. This is what, and now I am only the demonstration I am doing. Yesterday I have done it and kept it on at the sun, and again I got back these crystals. So this is what yesterday we have done. The entire this water part got evaporated in the sun, and by today morning I could get back my salt. Actually this is in a powder form, table salt I have taken, but in nature it is actually crystal. So you can see the again crystalline color, you can see the very nice crystals forming. So in nature sodium chloride always is available in the crystalline form. So this method is called evaporation. So wherever there is a possibility, and suppose in evaporation you get the solvent, solute, and again solution. So I have to give you those words also, because whenever I don't like to teach it without the scientific words, children, because that is the best way to teach it, so that you will also get the words. So what we get back is called solute, and what here the liquid, actually solute, there is a really to say, when we combine a solvent and a solute, the form that is finally what comes out is called solution. What remains is called residue. So here what happens, in this solution what I have created, we lost the water in evaporation and we got the solute. In some places we do want both matters. We want the solute as well as the solvent for our purpose. So that time this method of evaporation is not suitable. So there it can be done in the lab in a protected environment where you will be using other methods. So that is why I cannot show it here. It should be in a proper, both closed manner. That apparatus is entirely different. Since I cannot show, I don't want to get into that aspect. And similarly, now another method. Sometimes there will be magnetic material. The best example is our sand is silicon. It will have loads of iron also. And small children, I am sure the moment they get the magnet, they love to play with the sand, and then in the mud they rub it, and then get some iron filings. So for that sake, this toy is also having a small magnet in this. First I thought I will use this magnet, but that is not so effective. So again I just took, for the experiment's sake, I took my regular magnets that are there on the fridge. So these are the two magnetic things. So this is the mud. What I will do, I will rub, and what will happen on rubbing? If there is iron particles in the soil, they get attracted to the magnet, because iron is a magnetic substance. You can see the more rubbing, you get more iron particles. Here also you can very clearly see, like layers, 4 layers, some particles got stuck. So that will be actually the iron filings available in the sand. So this is wherever iron ore has to be removed from the earth. That time they will have not like this small, this is only to understand. There will be belts on which the ore will be sent in a big industries. So that because of all the iron content filings will get attracted to the belt that is moving, like in your airport and all where you get the take this thing, and then the remaining other substances get segregated. So using magnet, wherever the magnetic substances are in the mixture is one method. So today as of now, how many methods of separation we have learned? We have started with the hand picking, then we went to the filtration, sieving, then we have done the filtration mechanism, then we have used the evaporation method, then we use the magnets. So all these are physical ways of done, segregation. So now these are all whatever so far I have done. Solid to solid mixture, solid to liquid mixture. Now I am coming to liquid to liquid. So liquid to liquid, what will happen? You have to know some words here. Sometimes two liquids, they mix. Here I have taken some sand. Again I will add some more sand from here and pour it in the water. You can see. So here it is there. The color changed. The water that was like this, the color changed because of mud. But is it uniformly mixed? Can you see? If the moment I stop it, it will settle down. The bottom settled portion is called sediment. The top layer is called again a liquid. So now to do this, separation of the sediment from the liquid that has raised up, the lighter one, you use two methods. One is decantation and filtration, next method. So that one, decantation means nothing but shifting that into a other vessel. So suppose here I will empty this water one, or I will do that after it settles. Let it settle, let the sediment take place, then it is easy. So now here, this is the water from the tap. Mixture, this is not compound at all. So this, can you see the transparency? Can you see my face from this side? Yes, I can see my cameraman Rohit. So similarly, I can see the other objects also through this. So that property of liquid is called transparency. So whenever there is a transparency, it is called solution. But there is a difference. So whenever there is like this, though we mixed two items, they are not uniformly mixed. Now slowly the sediment is coming down. After some time we can still do it, and we can do the decantation also, mechanism also. Can you see the little closely? So, or if I put more sediment will be there, so visibility will be better for you. I have no issue. I will keep more, so that that sediment layer also will be very easily, the layer will increase. So now this type of liquids and solid, where they are not mixing together, is called suspension. This is not liquid, the scientific term is suspension. And here, where there is uniformly mixed and there is transparency, then it is called solution. Now I have taken another example of milk. Milk is also uniform as the water. Can you see? See the difference. But what is the main difference that you are finding here? Here it is transparent, visibility of the other side is there. Here it is opaque. I can't see my cameraman Rohit at all because of it is opaque. So once it becomes opaque, and we don't use it as the word solution or a liquid, we have to use scientifically emulsion. So now whenever, so the difference is it is uniformly mixed, unlike your suspension, but it is opaque, unlike your solution. So this is called emulsion. Why is emulsion? The water contains, milk contains water and also fatty acids. So those fatty acids are dissolved whenever you know in the thick, when after milk is boiled so much, you can see the oil droplets on the top layer, the cream that is there. You observe next time, so you should have the simplicity. Ma'am, we never heard, you are telling that fatty acids are there. You ask your mother to boil the milk nicely and go after it settles, there will be a one thin layer will be formed. On the layer you can see nice droplets of oils, fatty acid. So that is the reason it becomes opaque, and once it is opaque, it is an emulsion. Now I have another example here. So same, in the water we have added, actually it was beautiful yesterday when I was showing you about the diffusion. We have added 3 colors in that, red, green and blue. And yesterday by night it became purple and today it is looking blue. Is it uniform or not? So the complete diffusion has taken place, so it has settled with one single color. So again, this is opaque, so this is also another example of your emulsion. So again, yesterday I used the word for diffusion, don't get confused, that is osmosis and diffusion. Here the word term we are learning is emulsion. And this is another sanitizer we have done. Now you have to tell me. This sanitizer is done using the alcohol, the isopropyl alcohol, and we have taken our own aloe vera gel and then ground that, and then that soft one is added to isopropyl alcohol. And it is working so well, it's very economic. So now we are coming to another mechanism of wherever there is a base suspension is there, and then we can see 2 layers very clearly, everything has settled what we have done. So now this from this suspension, from an edge carefully we are trying to pour the top liquid into another content. These are all manual physical mechanisms, as I told you. Physically we are trying to segregate. See, this method is also used so many times to do the coffee, tea also in the houses when they don't have or during travel and all, they try to manage with these methods. So now you can see the sediment is separated from the solution. So now this solution I still find some particles, you can see them. So we want to do the perfect filtration. So what do? Again we use our one more method of using the funnel, and then this funnel again for the very clean and clear, crystal clear this thing, we use the filter paper and then we try to get the purest form. So it is all the process. See the same sediment, I have done the decantation, and then that is the first step of filtration, I mean using it. Now then I have used the funnel through the filter paper, and now I am getting a better product. So with the 3 steps, so again I can redo the same thing. I can do the decantation with the remaining one till I get the complete liquid and sediment separated. So again this one is also having a little the other 2 particles, it is not in a very crystal clear, I mean this one. So again I am using the method after decantation filtration. Is it clear? So now the residue will remain in this and the clear liquid comes out. So this is another method of decantation and filtration. So this is the another method of doing it. So now after this I have to show you one more liquid. See, this is now, we have already done that, it is an emulsion, and this is also emulsion because these 2 are opaque. So now I want to teach you all miscible and immiscible liquids. What is miscible liquid and what is immiscible liquid? So So this is one liquid which already we are having it, and for the same thing I am trying to use it. That is we became miscible with two components. Again, don't forget that. There is two with pure water and another substance together combined well uniformly. So this is called a miscible liquid. Now I try to add another substance. This is Gaulithera oil, which I am trying to pour into it. Let's see what will happen to it. Can you see the droplets? This is what I said on the milk also when I said fatty acids. Like this they will come. Is it however much I shake now, however much I mix now? Again they come back as a top layer. Can you see? There was another very good example yesterday to pour. And here also I have another one. I wanted to give you a beautiful color one. I have neem oil here. So let me add some neem oil. Maybe if I take pure water, the color distinction will be better. I just add pure water. An immiscible liquid, that is also an immiscible liquid. What we have made, because it is not mixing. But if I take water, the color contrast will give you a better image. This is neem oil. I am trying to, because whatever is, as I told you, whatever is available in the house only I am trying to do it. Can you see that this still, it will never mix. I let me stir and so much and then keep taking it. Could you see? So because neem oil being oil, fatty acids are not soluble in water, so naturally it is not mixing. So this type of liquid mixture is called immiscible liquid. So you can see the two layers so beautifully. The top layer you can see from bottom also, and it will never, however much we shake, it will never mix. So in a lab we will have a filtration mechanism in which it will be done. Now we will move out, because now we are going to do what will be done in the fields. Because you know very well that farmers have their own mechanism, particularly paddy. When they are doing the paddy aspect of it, they will they have to remove the husk. So when they have to remove the husk, you would have seen on the streets also. If you are from village background, you will know. If you are from city children, at least occasionally on streets, if whenever you are going towards the rural areas, you would have seen. So there, the paddy, when it grown and it is ready for a crop, they will have husk on top, the top layer. In biological term, we can say that exoderm. So for that, to explain that, to make you understand, I have taken groundnuts roasted in the house, and so that we have to remove this chilka or exoderm. So this one, how to do? After that, I just pressed it hard so that the top layer, that husk of it, will come out. So now that I have separated and then tried to remove the husk. Now we don't want husk, though husk is very good nutrition. So don't throw the husk, always eat the peanuts, groundnuts with the chilka also. But now for only my intention is to show the mechanism of winnowing. That is through wind, using the wind as a support and removing the separation. So here we will do it. So this way, if I keep doing it, with the support of the air, it will the layer will come out, and you can see the exoderm, that is the top layer, the husk, coming out. Like this it can be removed and separated. This is called winnowing. So in the rural farmers, they remove the husk of the paddy like this, and they first put it on the roads so that they allow the vehicles to pass on them, like how I am doing manually crushing, which is not possible in a bulk, in a large scale. So generally they put it off on the roads, and then so that they allow the vehicles to go on them, so that it will be easy for them. Then they use the winnowing technique like this. Even on the, you can see the images also on the in your textbooks. This mechanism using the wind to remove the separation is called winnowing. So that is what is the mechanism. Here, having come here, and I have, though because I cannot do the chromatography, that is another mechanism of separation where the colorful objects are there, multicolored things are there. There is a mechanism called chromatography. Using chromo means color, so different colors will have a different thing. So there is a different laboratory mechanism of separating colorful objects. So that is called chromatography. So almost I have covered manually, that is physically separating mixture to solid to solid, solid to liquid, liquid to gas. You know very well, I have been telling, because here it is air itself is a mixture. So when do chemically in a lab only, it can be done. So all the possible mechanisms, starting if we go back, winnowing is one mechanism, hand picking is there, filtration is there, sedimentation, decantation, and then filtration is done, and using magnets is done, using evaporation technique is there. There the sun is the helping hand, here the air is the helping hand. So many methods that whatever I could do it within my four walls I have done today. So see and enjoy and learn the terms properly and understand the concept. That is my whole intention. So thank you for viewing, my listeners or viewers. So keep watching Tapovan School YouTube channel, and then subscribe for it so that you get more and more educational videos like this. Thank you my cameraman Rohit for sparing your time for me.